when we were poor, how often was I talking about trying to get rich?
I don't think we spoke about anything else ever.
Every day, all day, what did we talk about when we were poor?
How to get rich, why we need to be rich, what we do if we were rich.
And we imagine these fictional scenarios. We'd say we'll just go to brand new cities and we'll just stay in the best hotels and we'll just have girls and we'll just have money. And we sit there and go, but if you travel around all the time, how do you have a job? How do you work? I was like, I don't know, we'll work it out. Remember actually saying, look, we're just going to travel and have money.
Yeah, we'll be in New York, smoking cigars in the back of a Maybach. There'll be millions in the account somehow.
But we were still in the paradigm of jobs. So we're like, it would have been like time off work. So maybe we can work a bunch, we can have a month where we can just travel around. Wild. It's all we talked about all of the time. I thought someone was rich for the most basic things. If you had Coke in your house as a kid, I thought your parents were rich.
Yeah, drinks that weren't tap water.
If you had drinks that weren't tap water, your parents were rich.
Yeah, were. I remember feeling rich because I had food in the fridge full of food. A few bottles of booze, 2 bottles of Smirnoff, bottle of whiskey, a couple bottles of wine in the fridge. I thought, fucking I'm prepared for a weekend. Any girl could come round.
Millionaire.
Things have changed a little bit. Should we live in New York?
New York where the rich people live.
I quite like New York.
Which things are more important than money?
Nothing besides health and good people. It's the only 2 things I wouldn't sell. I'd sell the good people around me and I wouldn't sell my health. Besides that.
And you can't buy them, but money can help with both.
Exactly. I can help both of them. Yeah.
Another thing I don't understand about people who don't try and make money. Getting rich is the easiest way to achieve all the things you want to achieve.
Oh yeah.
You want people to respect you when you talk.
Yeah.
Easiest way, get rich.
Yeah.
You want girls to love you. Easiest way, get rich. You want to leave a legacy and be remembered. Easiest way, get rich.
Yeah.
It's amazing that people say getting rich is hard when it's in fact the easiest possible way to achieve all the things you want to achieve.
Sure.
How else can you go down in history and be remembered in a positive light without getting rich? You'd have to dedicate your life to charity and live in a fucking shithole.
But you could do a lot more charity
if you had money. Exactly. So I'm not even saying that in those scenarios money wouldn't help you, but I'm saying that for you to even go down in history without money, you would have to completely sacrifice all good about your life when you could instead just get rich, or get rich and do the same thing and do better than you would do without the money.
Yes, exactly. And probably you'd live longer and be happier anyway.
So all of the things that you actually want to achieve with your life and all of the things that you're hoping to have in your consciousness and your human experience come from getting rich. The easiest way to get all of them is to get rich. So even though getting rich is not easy, it's still the easiest thing you should possibly do to make your life better. I want you to get pen and paper and write down everything you want to achieve in the next 4 years, the children you want to have, the car you want to drive, the money you want to make. I guarantee you every single thing you write down on that piece of paper is going to come true. Because when you've come from the absolute bottom to the absolute top and you've done it all off of your own back and hard work and dedication and never missing a day, the only shortcut to life is to never miss a day. 1, because of compounding interest, and 2, because sometimes you get lucky. And you'll never miss a lucky day if you try every day. If you don't try every day, you might miss your lucky day. And that's what people don't understand. If you never miss a day and you never don't try and you're always on time, was I late today? No, on time, and you try and improve every aspect of your life and you're a professional and you try and make sure that you analyze your decisions, you give yourself feedback, you don't make mistakes, you're not lazy. If you try and you make it to the top, you end up elitist because you look at the people down below and you're like, well, why didn't you try? I did. Oh, I did too. No, you didn't. That's a lie. 4 rich men and 1 poor man today. You know the worst thing about staying poor? It's not that you don't get Lamborghinis and private jets and mansions on the palm and diamond chains. It's not that you get to put on a big niggy diamond watch and sit around while your lawyers deal with your criminal cases and your house is full of women and there's a Bugatti outside. You're going to smoke a shisha pipe. That's not what being rich is about. Getting rich is going to be your coolest story, bro. Getting rich is going to be the coolest story you ever tell on your deathbed. And when I sat with these 4 rich men and this one brokey, what hurt him the most wasn't the fact that he had the shittest car, wasn't the fact that he had the shittest clothes, wasn't the fact that his family can't rely on him when they need expensive health care, wasn't the fact he's the only motherfucker not wearing diamonds, wasn't the fact he has to go to work in a few hours and we don't. None of that. What hurt him was the time he wasted. Because the worst thing about staying poor is that everyone gets rich without you. Please understand this. It's like the beginning of a tale. Imagine there's 5 men at the beginning of a path. A long and arduous path, a very dangerous one, which you're gonna walk down and defeat a dragon at the end. And 4 people walk the path and they fight the dragon and they emerge adorned in scars, covered in fire-burnt armor, saying the dragon has sent its fire at me and it burnt me, but I attacked back. You have a story. And then you have the scars and the diamonds, the dragon's head, the horn, whatever it is. You get all of the accolades for your bravery, for your monumental achievement. But the one guy who doesn't walk the path, he hasn't got a story. We were sitting at this table, us 4 rich men and this one brokey, talking about how we got rich within the last 10 years. All many different ways. We all took different paths, different dragons to slay. And we were talking about how we all managed to get rich. And you know what was hurting the broke guy? It wasn't that he didn't have any money. It's that he didn't have a fucking story. He knew that we were thinking what he was thinking. That he had spent the same amount of minutes conscious as us, the same 10 years, and we ask him what he's done with it, and all he can say is nothing. We can say, I went to jail, I did this, I started that business, it didn't work, I made 3 million here, I made 5 million there, lost it all, got it all back, invested in this, my business partner robbed me here. Then we tell all these great stories, and we say to him, what have you been doing? Work. Do you understand? You know what's amazing? I'm saying this, and those of you out there who are ambitious, who want to become a somebody, this will resonate with you. But most of the fucking brokies and losers who are listening to this are just not going to get it. You cannot sit at a table with 4 other men who have a monumental story of achievement, how they pulled off the impossible to finally become financially free, to have slayed a dragon, and be the only person who has wasted their time and not have a story. It's not like we went and got rich and you haven't had time. No, we're all the same age. We've had the same amount of minutes, the same amount of time. And when I recollect what I've done with the past decade, you can't even tell me what you did. You can't say I didn't get rich, but I became a world level fucking golf. I guess you get rich if you're a world level at golf. What's something you can get world level at without being rich? Women's basketball. Sorry I didn't get rich. I was busy playing women's basketball. I became the best in the world. I'm still broke. That's fine. The worst thing is we say, we spent all this time getting rich. What did you do with your time? And they say, I can't remember. Nothing. Ask yourself, New Year, when was New Year? It's been a flash. When was New Year's Eve? Remember New Year's Eve? What have you done since New Year's Eve? Ask yourself, what have you done? Went to work and went out this one night. Go on, it's been a third of a year. It's been 4 months. What have you done since New Year's Eve? I can tell you what I've done. Escaped house arrest, escaped the political persecution, went to Miami, told the AG he's a little bitch, went to Vegas, went to the UFC, went to LA, went to New York, went back to Miami, went back to Romania, spoke to the press, made millions of dollars. Now I'm in Dubai, about to open Tate Tower. I'm doing amazing things. What have you done since New Year's Eve? Because there's going to be a story. There's going to be 4 rich men and your broke ass sitting on a table at the end of this year, and I'm going to talk about how much fucking money I've made and all the monumentally important things I've done, and when I call that BBC reporter a nobody, and all the cool shit I do every single day, I'm going to talk about it, and the other rich men are going to have stories. We're all going to have dragon parts that we've lopped off the enemy, off the monster, and you're going to sit there and go, I don't remember. The worst thing about being poor is that everybody gets rich without you. It's amazing how your personality changes when you're not poor anymore. It doesn't drink, dedicate himself, not get rich. Never seen it. It's very easy to get exactly what you want if you try. What you have is people who try 60%. They try one day, then they miss a day. Then they try 3 days, then they miss a day. And then they say, I tried my best, but I still failed. This isn't real. You didn't try your best because you missed a day. I have always tried my best, which is why I have everything I've ever tried to get. I don't have the things I didn't try to get, but I do have the things I did try to get. If I see a man and he's like, oh, I don't want to work, I don't want to try, I just drink. Well, then I don't like you because you're an idiot. You're a winner because you dedicate yourself. All I'm trying to say is that the world, especially the masculine world, is one large, endless competition. And if you want to win a game, you need to at least play it. You can pretend there's no competition, but then you're not going to win. If you wake up and realize that the car you want, other men want, the woman you want, other men want, the house you want, other men want, the job you want, other men want, the followers you want, other men want. When you realize this, you're like, okay, now I know the competition, let me go try and win. If you're going to sit and say, well, I don't believe there's a competition, that's fine, but you're not going to win anything. If someone were to say to me, Andrew, how do I get rich? I'd say, well, then you have to understand that all the money you're trying to make, other people are trying to make. So you need to be faster. You need to be more competitive. You need to be better than they are. You need to try harder. You need to wake up earlier. You need to dedicate yourself. And if they say to me, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to lose, I'm going to say, okay, then you're a loser. Go lose. Here's the next man who wants to win. And then when he wins, people are going to ask him how he did it. And I'm going to say, because he played the game. This is who you're competing against. So the competition is absolutely and utterly fierce. Understanding that you're a man with a small pistol up against a mighty army. If you want to add a little bit of laziness on top, you're fucked. So when I say people are lazy, they go, I'm not lazy, I work hard every day. You work 8 hours a day? You work eight? The fuck? If I'm awake, I'm working. I'll be driving my Bugatti Chiron through Dubai, working. I'm texting at the same time. I don't take a second off. I don't take a minute off. I don't relax. I don't rest. I don't stop. I don't chill. None, ever. I'm either asleep or at work. That's it. Second I wake up, I check my phone, I begin working. I go to the gym, in between sets I am working. I'm online working the entire day until the second I go to sleep, I am at work. That is all I do. And you are at home competing against me, and you want to watch a movie tonight and then say you're not lazy. You're lazy and you're gonna lose forever. That's laziness. Next is stupid. I don't think many people are actually too stupid to be rich. You can be below average IQ and still get very rich. A very small percentage of people are too dumb to be rich. So very small percent are too stupid. It's step by step. Do this, do that, do this, and don't be lazy. It's not that hard, right? So stupid's not the problem. So we have people who are lazy, very few are stupid, but the majority, the main reason most people are broke is because they are arrogant. I will sit here and say all the things I've said. I will do this, take time out of my life for free. Somebody at home will watch and digest it for free. They will agree with the things that are being said, or at least be entertained enough to continue to watch. And they'll sit there and go, nah, I'll do it myself. They're arrogant. They have these egos from fuck knows where because they didn't earn it. And they're just too arrogant to listen to anybody. I became world champion by listening to my coach. I didn't become world champion by walking in and saying, I'll do it myself. That's not how you get anywhere in life. You have to listen. If Mike Tyson were to walk in, or if Elon Musk were to walk in here and talk to me about money, I wouldn't be sitting there going, I can do that. I'd be like, oh, Mr. Elon, richest man in the world. Hello, very nice to meet you. Please, even though I already understand I don't want to launch a car brand or put rockets in space, please, you must know some things I don't know. How do you deal with the currency fluctuations? Does inflation impact how much it costs for you to send a rocket into space? Like, I'd ask him something that's useful, right? But some people are so brutally arrogant that they'll sit here and they'll listen to all the things I said, and they'll agree that I'm intelligent, and they'll agree I'm massively successful, but they'll sit there and go, yeah, but you know what? I'll do it myself. I'll do it myself. They're arrogant. Everybody's arrogant. I sit with people who I used to go to school with from Luton who are still broke and tell them how to make money. And you know what they do? They answer back. Yeah, but it's not that simple because, the wife gets the kid, and you know what? And I don't like to do things that way. The way I like to work. The way you like to work is why you're fucking broke. So what the fuck are you talking about? You just sat here and wasted 10 minutes of my time. I told you how to take your business of painting and decorating and make a serious amount of money, and now you're telling me the way you like to work? Then stay broke. What level of arrogance? But this is people. They'll sit with a multimillionaire and tell you their view. Oh, I think that know when you're out qualified and accept it and learn. So we all do. I'm not gonna I can't play piano for shit. The piano teacher walked in here and said, this is what you do. And I said, well, I like to move my hands this way. What kind of dumbass? But this is the arrogance people operate under. So I'd say 20% of people are lazy, 20 to 25%. A large portion of the world are not lazy. They're actually working exceptionally hard, but they're doing the wrong thing. 5% of people are too stupid. So say 25%, 5% is 30%. But 70% of people are brutally arrogant, and this is why they are poor. That's the truth.
I'm telling you to be angry. Anger is a fantastic force. Perfectly fine for you to be pissed off. It's perfectly fine for you to look around at your life, look at the house you live in, look at the car you drive, and get pissed off and go, you know what, I want a hotter bitch, I want a nicer house, and I want a faster car. There's nothing wrong if you take that anger and you direct it in the correct direction. You need to get angry about your situation. You're sitting there right now, you're watching it, and you look around you, and you don't own the home you're in, get pissed off. If there ain't a Ferrari on your drive, get pissed off. If you don't have 10 Playboy Bunny level beauties, get pissed off. And then, well, what the fuck? You need to sit there and realize, whoa. I have a few years of consciousness, and even less than that, I have a few short years as a young man, because age will damage you. I mean, if you're a millionaire when you're 60, it's not nearly as good as being a millionaire at my age. I became a millionaire at 28. So you need to realize you got a few short years as a young man, you're wasting them. You need to sit there and go, shit, get angry. Because getting angry, forced, directed anger is an extremely powerful force.
I knew I was going to be the big G before I was the big G. There's nothing fake about belief. I knew what I was going to be.
When I was broke, I couldn't sleep. And I say that, people laugh. I'm not joking. When I wanted money, like I needed air. I am smart enough to know that money equals freedom. I needed money. And I used to sit there and just literally my hands in my head, and people are like, what's wrong with you? It's like, I need money. I want money today. I'm not gonna live broke. Get rich or die trying. I understand that completely.
I couldn't sleep at night when I was broke. I knew I had to find a way out. I was sitting there going, I refuse to live my human years and be some second-class citizen peasant when there's people out here who get to do whatever the fuck they want. I couldn't tolerate it. And I was so uncomfortable that it gave me the motivation I needed to escape.
Nobody, absolutely nobody, gives a fuck about you as much as you're going to have to give a fuck about yourself. Nobody cares about you as much as they need to care to fix your life. Even your parents, even your friends, even all the people who think they care about you, they care about you. Yeah, sure, there may be 2 or 3 people on the planet genuinely care about you. But nobody is going to come to your bed, drag you out of bed, drag you to a job, force you to work hard, go and get you a hot bitch, and go and buy you a Ferrari. Nobody is going to do that for you. You are never going to have any of the things you want if you do not get them yourself. Nobody cares about you enough to do it for you.
I think that the men who do think that way, who think I need to become the king and I need to give the kingdom to my son, I don't think they're happy men. I don't think Genghis Khan was happy. I don't think happiness, you talked about the man, Vivaldi, who did the amazing work, and he was poor. He had a lot of suffering in his soul, and you can hear it in the music, which is why it's so beautiful. And I don't think that happiness is contingent to achieving great things as a man. In fact, I would argue that pain and suffering makes you a better man. I think men are made of pain. I think the more pain you go through, the better you are as a man. Every single lesson you've ever learned as a man, you've learned the hard way. Every single scar you carry makes you stronger. And I think that as a man, pain and suffering is the best thing that can ever possibly happen to you. So if you find the most capable men who can do the most amazing things, they've had the most pain because that turned them into the man they are, and they gave up on happiness a long time ago. I don't think happiness crosses my mind. I'm not happy or sad ever.
I've been a millionaire. I've been a fighter. You know, I've done so many different things.